Some people think they've already missed the boat, that AI exploded in 2023, and if you didn't get in early, it's over. But what if that's completely wrong? Because while the hype has cooled, the real money, the long-term wealth, is just getting started. And the people who understand where AI is actually heading, they're quietly positioning themselves right now, far ahead of the crowd. You've heard it everywhere. AI is the future. But here's the problem. Most people have no idea what to actually do with that. They nod at headlines, maybe buy a few big names and hope for the best. Meanwhile, the biggest opportunities are hiding in plain sight. Not the next chatbot or robot, but the companies behind the scenes, the ones building the chips, the tools, and the infrastructure that make this entire AI revolution possible. In this video, you'll discover 3 of those hidden giants, and a bonus move that bundles the biggest AI winners into one powerful investment most people completely overlook. And if you're still watching by the end, you'll know exactly how to get in before the next wave begins. Let's start with something simple, but crucial. When you hear about AI, it's easy to picture robots, chatbots, or maybe a sci-fi movie. But in the real world, artificial intelligence is basically software. It's a system that can analyze huge amounts of data, learn patterns, and make decisions faster than any human ever could. AI isn't just a tool, it's becoming part of everything. It's already being built into cars, hospitals, supply chains, factories, banks, even your phone and your fridge. That's why companies and even governments are investing hundreds of billions right now. Because this isn't just innovation, it's the infrastructure of the future. But here's what most people miss. AI software cannot run on just any old computer. It needs something way more powerful. That's where chips come in. In tech, when we say chip, we mean a tiny physical part, often smaller than your fingernail, that acts like the brain of a computer. Specifically, AI runs on something called a GPU, which stands for Graphics Processing Unit. Originally designed to make video games look better, GPUs turned out to be incredibly good at processing lots of information at once, which is exactly what AI needs. So when companies build AI products, whether it's a self-driving car, a medical scanner, or a finance algorithm, they're not just writing code, they're buying truckloads of GPUs to power it all. And there's one company that dominates this space. You've probably heard the name before, but what they're actually doing behind the scenes is far bigger than most people realize. That company is NVIDIA. Now, here's where things get interesting. Because yes, the stock has already gone up a lot, but that doesn't mean it's too late. In fact, most of the value hasn't even been priced in yet, because most people don't realize how much of the AI industry is still being built. NVIDIA doesn't just sell chips, they build the whole ecosystem. Their software platform, known as CUDA, is what AI developers use to actually build and train their models. It's like owning the land and the tools that every AI company needs to start building. Think about that. While other companies are trying to use AI to improve their business, NVIDIA is the one selling the tools to all of them. It's like during a gold rush. Sure, some people found gold, but the real winners? They were the ones selling the shovels. And right now, NVIDIA isn't just selling shovels, they're selling advanced, highly specialized tools that nobody else can replicate at the same scale. But NVIDIA cannot do it alone. Because these ultra-powerful chips don't just magically appear out of thin air. They have to be manufactured, and that part of the puzzle is what almost every beginner investor overlooks. Because if NVIDIA is the brain behind the AI revolution, who's the surgeon building those brains? That's where the next company comes in, a name most people can't even pronounce, but every tech company on Earth depends on: TSMC. That stands for Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. And while it may sound boring, this company certainly isn't. Because TSMC doesn't design chips, they build them. They're what's called a foundry, which means other companies, like NVIDIA, Apple, and AMD, send them designs, and TSMC fabricates those incredibly complex chips at mind-blowing precision. Imagine trying to build a skyscraper the size of a grain of sand, with parts measured in atoms. That's what TSMC does, every day. And here's the best part. No one else can do it at their level. There are only a handful of companies in the world that can even attempt to manufacture the most advanced AI chips. And TSMC? They're not just part of the game, they are the game. In fact, over 90% of the world's most advanced chips come from TSMC's factories. That makes them mission critical for AI's future. Every time NVIDIA sells more chips, TSMC wins. Every time a new AI startup raises funding and wants hardware, TSMC wins. They're the factory behind the future, and the demand is just getting started. Of course, there are risks. Most of their factories are in Taiwan, which introduces some geopolitical uncertainty. But that's also why major governments and tech giants are racing to support and expand TSMC's footprint in places like the US and Japan. Because they know that the entire digital economy relies on this one company. And here's what ties it all together. Right now, companies and governments are pouring hundreds of billions into building AI infrastructure. From OpenAI's Stargate project, with a budget of $500 billion, to Elon Musk's xAI, to massive investments from Google, Microsoft, and Amazon. And the backbone of all this? It's made of chips, tools, and systems built by companies like NVIDIA, TSMC, and the next one we're about to cover. And if this video is helping so far, make sure to like and subscribe so you'll never miss a video again. While most people are distracted by the latest flashy AI product, smart investors are watching TSMC, because as AI scales, so does their production, their pricing power, and ultimately, their profits. But there's still one more company to talk about, because even the best chips in the world still need a way to connect, move data, transfer power, and function as a system. And the company that sits at the heart of that AI infrastructure, it's not a household name either, but it might be the smartest stock you've never looked at. So we've talked about NVIDIA, the company designing the brains, and we've talked about TSMC, the company actually building them. But now we need to zoom out and look at what holds it all together. Because a chip alone isn't enough. To actually work inside an AI system, that chip needs to communicate with other chips. And that's exactly where Broadcom comes in. They specialize in components that handle data traffic. It's the kind of stuff that's easy to overlook. Until you realize none of these AI models would function without it. Think of it like this. If NVIDIA builds the engine and TSMC builds the parts, Broadcom builds the highway that lets all those engines run together. And now, with the explosion of AI, those highways are getting flooded. Every AI model, from image recognition to chatbots, needs enormous data to flow back and forth, constantly, without bottlenecks. That's the exact pain point Broadcom solves. But here's what makes them especially powerful as an investment. They offer more than just one strength. Broadcom has a diverse portfolio, not just AI-related chips, but also software, enterprise security, cloud infrastructure, and even the tech that powers your Wi-Fi and 5G connection. That diversity gives them strength during tech cycles, but their real growth tailwind right now? It's data centers. As AI grows, the demand for massive data centers, essentially the physical homes of all this computing power, is exploding, and Broadcom's chips are in everything. They're the glue, the connective tissue of the AI economy. Now, we've covered 3 companies, each playing a different role in the AI revolution. But maybe you're thinking, this all sounds great, but what if I don't want to pick just one? Well, that's where the bonus of this video comes in. Because what if you want to make money from the AI revolution, but without the stress of picking the perfect stock? What if you could hold NVIDIA, TSMC, Broadcom, and a dozen other AI leaders all in one shot? Well, that's exactly what this next move gives you. It's not a stock, it's what's called an ETF, or the full name, an exchange-traded fund. And if you're new to investing, don't worry. An ETF is simply a bundle of different companies, wrapped into a single investment you can buy just like a stock. And the one we're talking about is called SMH, the VanEck Semiconductor ETF. Now, here's what makes SMH so interesting. It holds the biggest names driving the AI hardware revolution: NVIDIA, TSMC, Broadcom, and many more. That means, instead of trying to bet on one winner, you're essentially holding the entire toolbox behind AI's growth. As long as AI demand continues to rise, for chips, data centers, high-speed infrastructure, this ETF benefits. And because it's diversified, you're not putting all your money on a single company's performance. But don't mistake that for lower returns. In fact, SMH has outperformed many individual tech stocks over the past years, with less volatility, because when one stock dips, another often balances it out. So whether you're just starting out or looking to expand your AI exposure without taking on too much risk, this bonus pick could be the perfect bridge. But AI isn't the only thing shaping the future. There's another asset that keeps coming back into the spotlight, dividing opinions every time: So click the next video to find out whether buying Bitcoin still makes sense and what history might be trying to tell us.